Yes, hello and welcome again to Chris's Caribbean Delights. And the holiday season is here, and we're baking up a lot of stuff. Fruit cakes, black cakes, bread for pepper pie, and someone requested tennis rolls. Tennis roll is a Guyanese favorite. That it's a roll with a slightly sweet roll with like a dinner roll, but you can have it with cheese or you can have it with anything savory. They want to have it with some pepper pie. So they requested some tennis rolls. So I'm going to share that recipe with you now, and we'll go step by step and get some tennis rolls made, and so that my subscriber can make these tennis rolls for Christmas. So let's go to the ingredients for tennis rolls. So here are the ingredients for those tennis rolls. We'll first need some flour. I have here 4 cups of all-purpose flour. We have some evaporated milk. I have a 3/4 cup of evaporated milk and a 1/4 cup of water. That's what we're going to use to activate our yeast. We have one pack of yeast, which is 2.25 teaspoons, and we have some sugar to add to our yeast so that it will be activated properly. I have some shortening here, 2 tablespoons of shortening. Well, actually, this is a 1/4 cup of sugar. Sorry, 1/4 cup of sugar and 2 tablespoons of butter, softened butter. We're going to mix this into the flour. So first we're going to activate our yeast. So we're going to pour the milk and the water, and it has to be at least a little above room temperature. Both the water and the milk has to be a little above room temperature, about maybe 94 or 100 degrees, and we'll put the sugar in there. And they'll give that a stir. Give that a stir just to let the sugar melt, and then we'll add our yeast. So once the sugar is melted, we'll go ahead and add our yeast and give this a stir. And you leave this for about 5 to 10 minutes until the yeast is starting to, when it starts to bloom. You'll know when it starts to bloom when it gets very frothy on top, and it's looking very frothy on top, and it's rising. So just let's set this aside and for about 5 to 10 minutes, and we'll be back. Into the flour, 4 cups of flour, we'll add 2 tablespoons of butter, 2 tablespoons of butter, 2 tablespoons of shortening, 2 tablespoons of shortening. And we'll get in there with our hands, our clean hands, and we'll rub the shortening, rub the fat into the flour. We'll just rub the margarine and the shortening into the flour. Just make sure it gets incorporated really well. And I'll do this maybe for about 2 minutes or so, and I'll be back. Yeah, after rubbing it for about a minute or so, I went ahead and I added the sugar and added the salt. Yeah, just add the rest of the ingredients in there, and you'll continue mixing this with your hand. You can use a stand mixer, which I think I'll use eventually when I pour I'll pour this mixture into the stand mixer and then add the yeast when the yeast is blooming. because it needs to be kneaded it could be a pretty good workout. But if you have a stand mixer, you could use that. If not, you just do it by hand. Okay, so this is pretty well mixed. We'll move over to the stand mixer. So here we are at the stand mixer. My stand mixer is fitted with the dough hook, and this is what my yeast look like. The blooming yeast is bloomed. I added the warm water and the warm milk in here, and I added some sugar along with the yeast, and it left it for about 5 to 10 minutes. In about 7 minutes it bloomed up. So there we are. So the flour mixer, we're going to put the flour mixture into the stand mixer right now. We're going to put the flour in there. Just go in, make a little well. Just make a little well in there. And then we'll pour the yeast mixture in there. Okay? And then we'll turn this on. On a nice low speed, and let it mix in there and get the yeast mixture mixed in with the flour. So we'll do this for about a minute, and then we'll see if we need some more water, or how the dough is looking, and we can add liquid as we go along. You can add either water or milk. It all depends on how rich you want it, and if it does need more. So we'll let it run, and we'll be back in about a minute or so. As you can see, the dough is coming together nicely, but it needs a little more liquid, which we're going to add. And also, I forgot to mention a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla extract. That's to give it that nice vanilla, or you can use mixed essence, you know, to give it that nice fragrance and that flavor. It's all about the fragrance and the flavor with a tennis roll. Something about the tennis roll and that fragrance when you're eating it. So let's get some vanilla and incorporate some vanilla into that. Just some white vanilla. Should mix it in there. You want to put some nutmeg in there. Okay. So I've added some vanilla. I've added a little bit of nutmeg, just to give it a nice little Caribbean flavor. So, and that fragrance, I love that fragrance. So we let this go for another 5 minutes or so. It has to knead for about 5 to 10 minutes before we can remove it from the stand mixer. So here we are after about 5 minutes of kneading. You need the dough to be stretchy like this. You know, the gluten the gluten has developed. But now we're going to turn this out onto a floured surface. We're going to just knead it just a little more, just smooth it off and get it into a ball. So I just turned it out onto a floured surface, and we'll just lightly knead it into a nice round ball, because it's already been kneaded in the food process, in the stand mixer. Now, since it's been working in the stand mixer and it's already kneaded, all you have to do when you get it out of the stand mixer, get it on the floured surface, just move it around and get it into a nice little ball like this. And this you're going to sit in a greased bowl for about an hour, for 1 hour. About 1 hour, or until it doubles in size. Once it doubles in size, you'll take it out and you'll work with it again. So, see you in an hour. As you can see, my dough has doubled in size. Now it's time to make your tennis rolls, your little rolls. So the first thing you do, once your dough is doubled in size, you come in with some clean hands and you take that air out of there. Yeah, you just have to deflate. Have to deflate it. Make sure all that air comes out up there. So you take it out, put it on another floured surface. You have your tray ready, your baking tray. I lined this baking tray with some foil so it wouldn't stick, and I still put some butter on there. You just press all that air out of there. Press all the air out. And depending on how large you want your tennis rolls, that's how you're going to cut them now. Depending on how large you want them. From this, I think I can get maybe about 10, maybe 12. So we'll see. 1, 2, 3. Okay, seems as though we just got maybe about 7 or 8. 1, 2, 4, 6, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. We got 8 out of that. So, and this is a regular size, kind of a normal size. But now you'll form it into a ball. You knead it into a ball. Take the palm of your hand, and you just bring the ends together. Just bring all the ends together. Now once it gets nice and smooth, you'll just rest it in your baking tray. I like to separate them so that they wouldn't touch each other, because some people like to have it all close together, and so they can break it away when you need it. But I just like to have it all by themselves, individually. So this is how we do it. And now this is going to rest for another 45 minutes until it kind of doubles in size again, because we took all that air out. But now it's gonna, we're gonna try to have it double in size again. So there we are, guys. This is our 8 tennis rolls placed on the baking sheet, and we'll let this rise for another 45 minutes and then before we put them into the oven for baking. And right now, so what you can do is get your oven heated. Get your oven heated to 350. Once this is rising, you heat up your oven, and so it'll be ready. Once these are done raising, you can put them directly into the oven. So I'll cover this with a nice damp paper towel and let it, or a tea towel, and let it rise 45 minutes. So after 45 minutes, they're doubled in size. This is our tennis roll. Our tennis roll is doubled in size, and we're going to put them in the oven at 350 for about 20 minutes, and then we'll check them. So here we go. And be ready with some softened butter so that you can just brush the tops to give it a nice sheen. So, and it would keep it moist also. So in 20 minutes, you'll have some tennis rolls on here. So here we are, guys. This is the finished product, and I'll just give it a brush with some butter. Just took maybe just about 20 minutes. Just about 20 minutes to get this nice, wonderful coloring. Nice brown color on there. Just like to let that butter seep right in there in the crevices. Here, guys, tennis rolls. I hope you try this recipe, and I hope you enjoy it. I really do hope you have a wonderful Christmas. So once again, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and have a Merry Christmas. God bless.